Okay, Queen of uh, Queen of Sheba, the Queen of the Aksumite kingdom from 1000 BC. According to the history of Aksum and according to the some record, the Queen of Sheba was one of the powerful queen from Aksum. She born in a particular place called uh, Debra Makeda. And the name of the village is well known until this day, Debra Makeda. That means it is named after her name. Her first name was Makeda. When she became a successor or when she became a queen, her name became officially Queen of Sheba. Aksum kingdom during the time of the Queen of Sheba, it was one of the powerful kingdom in the world. The Aksumite were international traders. They were export gold, different expensive stones like the sapphire, frankincense, ivory, animal skin, different items. They were export to Greek, to Rome, to the Middle East, as far as India and China. And the Aksumite international traders, they had several ports. The first one was the port of Adolis, which is found in the Red Sea. The second port was Berbera. It just found in the Somalia. The third port was Atbara. It was found in Nubia. So those famous ports were under control of the Aksumite kings and queens, especially during the Queen Sheba. And according to the history of Aksum, the Queen Sheba had historical journey to Jerusalem to meet King Solomon. A good friend of Queen Sheba was called Tamrin. Most of the time he was export his items to the Middle East, to Jerusalem, and he had a good chance to know about King Solomon. So it was a good chance for Queen Sheba to know about King Solomon. So Tamrin, the trader, he was explained to the Queen of Sheba, King Solomon was one of the powerful, the wisest king on earth, also the most wealthiest king on earth. During that time, the Queen of Sheba was also one of the powerful queen in the world. So, what she had heard by her own ear, she decided to travel to Jerusalem. She was interested about the wisdom of King Solomon and she wanted to prove by her eye. So the Queen Sheba decided to travel to Jerusalem and she traveled by land and the sea. And she took important gifts like gold, frankincense, and different important gifts for King Solomon. And she traveled by 797 camels, mules, and horse. And they were with a load of gold. Um, when King Solomon built the temple in Jerusalem, especially the inner chambers were decorated by gold, by a pure gold. Those pure gold came from the land of Tigray or from the land of Aksum and around. That the Queen of Sheba took it from this land and she gave him to King Solomon as important gift, and King Solomon said that was a great amount of gold that he had received from the Queen of Sheba. Many kings and queens were visited King Solomon, but he said he had received from the Queen of Sheba like a large amount of gold. That's why he was able to build the temple in Jerusalem, the temple, the famous temple in Jerusalem. So the Queen of Sheba traveled to Jerusalem and she had good time with King Solomon in Jerusalem. What she had heard about King Solomon, she proved that was a true history. King Solomon was one of the wisest king on the earth, and she was very happy to meet him, as well as King Solomon was very happy to meet Queen Sheba. And history said Queen of Sheba was one of the beautiful queen on the earth, and he was seduced or he was attracted by the Queen of Sheba. He was fall in love with the Queen of Sheba. This means they become two lovers, and King Solomon decided to have a baby from the Queen of Sheba. This is, I will tell you, the Queen Sheba travel to Jerusalem is our God want to make something very important for us or for a human being. So the travel of the Queen of Sheba was not simple journey. For us, like a prophetic travel or a journey to Jerusalem. Aksum, she had good chance to learn the wisdom of King Solomon. She stayed with King Solomon in Jerusalem. She learned a lot, and King Solomon as well learned a lot from the Queen of Sheba, because the Queen of Sheba was also very famous diplomatic queen and very wise queen, very beautiful queen. That's why King Solomon kneeling down or fell in love with the Queen of Sheba and decided to have a baby from the Queen of Sheba. So during her stay in Jerusalem, King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, they become two lovers. And she become a pregnancy. This was great news for King Solomon, and he was very happy, and his gratitude was deep. Our God bless him with this special gift. So the Queen Sheba want to return to her home, and King Solomon gave her important gifts. She brought them to Aksum. So when she coming back from Jerusalem to Aksum, on the way, she gave a birth to the child, well known, his name Menelik the First, just on the way to Aksum, in her return to Aksum. So Queen Sheba gave a birth to the child called Menelik, and Menelik grew up here in Aksum in her palace. When he became matured, like 22 years old, the Queen of Sheba decided to send her son to Jerusalem. This is one of interesting. I study it since my childhood. As I born, I grow up by learning this history, this wonderful history. So this history is root of my blood, my faithful people from Tigray and around Tigray. So this history is one of the greatest history in Ethiopia, or want to hear about the history of the Queen of Sheba. When we are talking about the history of the Queen of Sheba, we talk also about the Ark of the Covenant, how it was brought, the original Ark of the Covenant, from Jerusalem to Aksum. So the Queen of Sheba sent her son Menelik the First, introduced with his father, with King Solomon in Jerusalem. And King Solomon was very happy to see his son. He was very handsome, like his father, like King David. Or Menelik the first was a very handsome, like King David. And King Solomon was full of rejoice and full of happiness when he uh, made his son before he got older, uh, and especially his son was very handsome and as well as very wise. So King Solomon command for the Jewish scholars and for the Jewish priests to teach him the Hebrew language, the law of the administration of King Solomon, about the court, and Menelik was engaged to learn those basic rules of his father, because King Solomon was focused on court and justice, and the same Menelik was focused on those basic things, very necessary things, as one princess or as one with his father, with King Solomon, for about 3 years. He became qualified, and the wish of his father was Menelik to stay with him in Jerusalem and to rule Jerusalem and to become as a king of Jerusalem. But Menelik the first need to come back to his mother, as he is the only son to his mother, and his mother, Queen Sheba, advised him to come back to Aksum and to become the king of Aksum, because he is the only child, her successor. So Menelik the first said to his father he should come back to Ethiopia. It was like a sad news, because King Solomon loved his son very much, and he was really sad to send his son back to Ethiopia. Solomon gave him very important gifts, almost a quarter of his wealth, to his son, to Menelik, and he commanded from each tribe in Jerusalem 1,000 young people, the priestess from